Hi, you're welcome to Financial Freedom Hub, your comprehensive financial education and tutorial channel on YouTube. My name is John Kennedy Akotia. We just started a new series on the laws of money, the laws that govern money, its acquisition, its multiplication, and its transfer to the next generation. And then we looked at the law of abundance as our first law of money in our previous video. And that law says we live in an abundant universe in which there is sufficient money for all who really want it and are willing to obey the laws that govern its acquisition. And so you can watch that video and learn the details, the effect of that law, and then how you can immediately apply that law to yourself. But then in the second video, we are looking at the law of exchange as the second law of money. The law of exchange is the second law of money. And this law says money is the medium through which people exchange their labor in the production of goods and services for the goods and services of others. The law of exchange says that money is the medium through which people exchange their labor in the production of goods and services for the goods and services of others. Before there was ever money, there was barter trading. In barter, people exchange goods and services directly for goods and services without the medium of money. But as civilization grew, barter became too clumsy, and people found that they could exchange their goods and services in a medium like coins, which they could then exchange for the goods and services of others, thereby making the whole process more effective and efficient. Today, we go to work and exchange our work for money. We exchange our knowledge, we exchange our skills, we exchange our expertise and experiences for money, which we then use to purchase the results of the work of other people. Okay, so that is what the second law of money is saying, the law of exchange. Let's look at the effects of this law of exchange. What are the effects of this law of exchange? The first effect of the law of exchange says, money is a measure of the value people place on goods and services. So that is the first effect of the law of exchange. Money is a measure of the value that people place on goods and services. So simply put, what this effect of the law of exchange is saying that the amount of money people are willing to pay for any good or any service you bring to the market determines the value of that product or the value they place on that good or that product. So for instance, I decide to send this remote to the market and then I am determined to sell it. Now, what people will pay for this will determine the value they place on this product that I am holding. If I send this bottle of water to the market, the amount they are ready to pay for it determines the value they place on this bottle of water. So simply put, that's what this law of exchange. That means the amount of money they will be willing to exchange for that product determines the value or tells the value they place on that product. It means if they hire you, the amount of money they are willing to pay you is the value they have placed on your experience, expertise, skills, and knowledge, or whatever you are bringing on board. It is only what a person will pay that determines the value of something. Goods and services do not have a value separate and apart from that which someone is willing to pay for them. All value is therefore subjective and personal. So what a person is willing to pay is purely subjective and personal. You can tell him, well, my product is $2,000. The person will tell you, well, I can only pay $1,000. Whatever, you can send it to any other place. If everybody decides that the value they place on the product you are claiming $2,000 for is valued at $1,000 before them, subjectively and personally, that is what the value will be. It is based on the thoughts, feelings, attitudes, and opinions of the prospective purchaser at the moment of buying decision, at the moment of the buying decision. The second effect of this law of exchange says that your labor is viewed as a factor of production or a cost by others. So they view your labor as a factor of production or a cost. All right, so let's look at what it means. We each have a tendency to look upon the sweat of our brow or our work as something special because it is so intensely personal. It comes from us and is an expression of what we are as a person. However, as far as others are concerned, our labor is just a cost. As intelligent consumers, as employers or consumers or customers, we want the very most for the very least, no matter whose labor is involved. Now, anything you want to buy, you want the highest quality, the highest quantity, but at the lowest cost or the lowest fee. No matter who produces it, no matter whose sweat produced that thing, we don't care. That is the tendency of the human being. The employers, they want to hire the best people at the least pay they can afford to increase their profitability. Customers want to buy the product at the highest quantity, highest quality, but at the lowest price. Consumers want the highest, the best quality, but at the lowest cost to them. That is just the human nature. So your labor is viewed just as a factor of production or a cost. For this reason, you cannot place an objective value on your labor. It is only what other people are willing to pay for your labor in a competitive market that determines what you earn and what you are worth in financial terms. Have you been to a job interview before and then they ask you, after the interview, they ask you, tell them what you think you are worth, what pay you are expecting. And then maybe you value your skills so much that you tell them that you are worth maybe $12,000 a month. And they tell you that they can only afford $6,000. Either you take it or you leave it, and you know that that is the only chance for you now. It means you have valued your value high, but the objective value you have placed on your labor is not what other people are willing to pay for. So what the competitive market is willing to pay for determines your value and what you will earn. That is the second effect of the law of exchange. The third effect of this law of exchange says that the amount of money you earn is the measure of the value that others place on your contribution. So the law of exchange, the third effect states that the amount of money you earn is the measure of the value that others place on your contribution. So you see that in the exchange market, you have a product or service you are rendering. Another person needs that product or service. You can't arbitrarily determine the value or the price your product or your service must attract. It can only be measured by the value the other person places on your contribution or the value you are going to give to them through that product or service. The way the market of labor works is simple. You will always be paid in direct proportion to three factors. Number one, the work you do. Number two, how well you do it. And number three, the difficulty of replacing you. So the third effect of the law of exchange says the amount of money you earn is the measure of the value that others place on you. And so we are saying that the value others place on you is determined by three factors. Number one, the work you do, how well you do it, and the difficulty of replacing you. If, let's say, you are a car mechanic, and then they know that, oh, your work is excellent. No matter what the problem or fault they bring you, you are able to solve it. I bet you can earn more than your colleague mechanic who is also established and doing the same work. And then if they know that it is very difficult to replace you, when they lose you, they will be willing to pay you more. It means they will have very higher value for your service. How much you are paid will be in direct proportion to the quantity and the quality your contribution in comparison with the contribution of others. So how much you are paid in any organization will be in direct proportion to the quantity and the quality of your contribution in comparison with the contributions of others, combined with the value that other people place on your contribution. So that is the third effect of the law of exchange. The fourth effect of the law of exchange says that money is an effect and not a cause. Money is an effect and not a cause. You know, we have cause and effect. One thing causes another, and then the other is the effect of the cause. Now, let's look at what this effect means. Your work or contribution to the value of a product or service is the cause, and the wage, salary, or earnings that you receive is the effect. If you wish to increase the effect, you have to increase the cause. So we said money is an effect and not a cause. Money is an effect and not a cause. So it means your effort that you put in, the work you do, the skill, the expertise that you put in, that is the cause. And then the wage or the salary you earn is the effect. It means if you want to increase the earning or the effect, then you must to increase the cause correspondingly. The fifth and the last effect of the law of exchange we want to consider is that to increase the amount of money you are getting out, you must increase the value of the work that you are putting in. Okay, we just said it in the fourth effect, where we said money is an effect and not a cause. And so we said if you want to increase the effect, then you have to increase the cause. So this fifth effect of the law of exchange is now stating explicitly that in order to increase the amount of money you are getting out, you must increase the value of the work that you are putting in. To earn more money, you must first increase your knowledge or increase your skill. Secondly, you must improve your work habits or your work ethics, or work longer and harder hours. Thirdly, you must either work more creatively or do something that enables you to get greater advantage and results from your effort. Sometimes you have to do all of these things together. The highest paid people in our society are those who continually improve in one or more of these areas to add greater value to the work that they are doing. And so let's quickly look at how to apply this law of exchange immediately. Let's look at these 5 keys. Number 1, study your business carefully. That's the organization or the company you are working with. Study it carefully and determine exactly what it is that you do that contributes the greatest value to the price of the products or the services that your company sells. So study the business or the organization you are working with carefully and then determine what exactly it is that you do that contributes the greatest value to the price and the products of the company that they are selling. Number 2, how could you increase the value of your personal contribution? So number 1 thing is you must determine the contribution, the greatest contribution that you make that affect the price of the product and services of your company. Then number 2, how could you increase the value of your personal contribution? Number 3, ask yourself each day, why am I on the payroll of this organization? It means you are providing a certain value, that is why you are there. And so if you want to increase your share on the payroll, it means you have to increase the value you bring to the table. Number 4, make a list of your answers and share this list with your boss and co-workers. And number 5, ask them to comment on it and tell you what it is that you do that they feel makes the greatest contribution to the organization. That can help you to find the areas and ways to improve and then to add more value, and then you can increase your earning. Thanks for watching. This is the second law of money, the law of exchange. And if you are new to the channel, remember to subscribe, turn on the notification, like our videos, share the video, and leave a comment. God bless you. I'll see you in the next video.